The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio. Happy Friday morning to you all as the 30 days of Draftmas continue to roll on here in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. What's wrong with your face?
On the fourth day of Draftmas, Clostradamus brought to me.
Draft busts of 2021. Which guys are you going to draft too high and they are not going to perform up to the place that you drafted them in? We've gone through a lot of sleepers. We've gone through, best value picks, things like that. But busts is a whole different category. Now, is there an overall gauge that you use to determine bust
Usually it's
value,
it's who they're picked around.
Okay.
For me, I've said this on the show 100 times. No matter who the player is, they have a value somewhere. Mm-hmm. The problem with a bust is that you take them sandwiched in between two guys that are going to be really good.
Right.
And there are a litany of guys that I'm going to, from henceforth, this will be referred to as the Clyde Edwards Alaire list.
Okay. So I'm guessing he's your number one bust for fantasy football this year?
I just feel like people are going to take him with an expectation that he's going to be something he's not. Mm-hmm. I took him in the Manscaped draft in the third or fourth round because running backs had just been demolished.
Right.
I had to.
Right.
And I just look at Edwards Alaire and look at the guys he's being drafted around. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at his current ADP. The three right in front of him: Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. All of them I like markedly more than him. The three guys right behind him: J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle, Josh Allen. Markedly like all three of those guys better than Edwards Alaire.
Yeah.
So, if he falls into the back end of the third, beginning of the fourth, and he's your second or third running back, more power to you. Mm-hmm. What I'm seeing a lot of people do is they're going Kelsey no matter what, and then Clyde Edwards Alaire ends up as their number one running back.
Yes.
And it ain't going to work. What changed so drastically that he's going to be markedly better than he was last year?
People think he was great last year.
And they were fucking wrong.
Exactly. He had 5 games last year where he scored 10 or more points.
Yeah.
5 of them.
If you look at his game log, he was below average in more games than he was good.
Yes.
And I don't even think it's debatable.
And he only had 2 games where he went over 100 yards, and I think he went 138 in one of them and 166 in the other one.
138 and 161.
161, excuse me.
The craziest part of that is one of them was against Buffalo, which I still do not understand.
Right.
But he's just a plotting back. I'm going to keep using the stat that I used on Draft Night when he got drafted. There has never been a running back that is 5'7", which is what Edwards Alaire is, mm-hmm. over 205 pounds and rush for 1,000 yards.
Right.
There's never been one. Maurice Jones-Drew was an inch taller. And with his speed. Because he ran like a 4.5 something at the combine.
Yeah, to me, I have to get a running back before I get to Clyde Edwards Alaire. I have to get into that top realm if, I need a number one running back. I've seen this question posted so many times on chat boards and stuff in the Sleeper app, especially of, is the zero running back idea a good thing to do? Or should I go wide receiver for my first 2 picks? No. Absolutely. You have to get in on the premier running backs in this league, and you're not going to do it if you wait around until late part of the second round to get one. There are a couple of guys that I'm not really okay with having J.K. Dobbins or David Montgomery or Deandre Swift as my number one running back. But I would take every one of those guys I just said over Clyde Edwards Alaire. Clyde Edwards Alaire is the beginning of the shitstorm in running backs in fantasy football to me.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You get into that dead period where it's just a lot of grossness. And I will take top wide receivers if I don't have one of those running backs on my board. So, Clyde Edwards Alaire, great first pick.
Saquon Barkley's my 2.
Saquon is also on my bust list.
Let me tell you a fun story about Saquon Barkley. So you remember when he got hurt in 2019?
Yeah.
Before the year ender last year, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
In the season and 2 games that he played, 18 games total before that injury, do you know how many times he averaged more than 5 yards a carry?
Twice.
9 times in 18 games. Do you know how many times he's done it since?
How many? Once?
1 time. And he had a 40-plus yard run in that one game. He has not been good. I don't know what happened. And I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm saying the mixture of everything doesn't set up well for him.
Right.
And I wasn't going to add him on this list. Except for the fact now with the Jonathan Taylor thing, he's past him, which is stupid to me. If you were on Jonathan Taylor 3 weeks ago, you can ding him a little bit. I've seen scouting services that put him in the beginning of the 3rd round.
Wait, what happened? What did I
Carson
miss?
Wentz.
Yeah, but he's going to be back now.
Allegedly. There's people that don't buy that, and they think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor behind Jacob Eason, and he's going to wind up with 9 guys in the box.
For
sacred time,
2 weeks?
I don't care.
Right.
I do not care. I still like him better than Saquon Barkley.
I agree. Last year, I know he only got to play 2 games, but still, in those 2 games, he averaged like 14 yards a game, and that's bad. Mm-hmm. That offensive line is god-awful. It's the worst in the league, and I don't even think it's close. Now, you go put him behind that, coming off the ACL injury. I'm just not. I mean, ACLs I know aren't the same thing as they used to be, but still, I'm not drafting Saquon Barkley at, number 8 in the 1st round, and then I'm left out in the cold on the other running backs. I will gladly take Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler. I think that's probably it. If I was faced with those 4, I would take those 3 guys over Saquon Barkley.
I'm real glad you said Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Is he on your bust list?
He's on this list for me, too.
I'm out on that one.
He's on this list for me, too.
Why?
Matt LaFleur's been the coach of the Green Bay Packers for 2 years. Mm-hmm. All right, 26-6, 28-8, if you include the postseason, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Since he took over, Aaron Jones has how many games where he has 20 or more carries in one game?
Oh, God. 7. Okay.
And all 3 of them were in the last 6 weeks of seasons.
How many touches, though? Because he gets used in the passing game.
Not as much as you think. It's 3 catches a game. Which is fine. That's not bad. It's high end for a running back. Mm-hmm. I guess I look around, and maybe this is my Travis Kelce no matter what seeping through.
Right.
I don't see a path that I would take Aaron Jones ahead of Travis Kelce. I get such an advantage in Kelsey. I just don't see how I would ever do it.
But if I'm in that situation, more than likely I'm going to be able to get them both. Like if I'm at the end of the 1st round,
you're not getting both.
I can get Travis Kelce and an Aaron Jones at the turn.
You're not getting them both because you're not going to catch either one of them at 12.
Really?
No shot. Travis Kelce's current ADP is 12, and I'm going to be honest with you, he's gone 5 spots higher than that in damn near every league I've been involved in. Because I would take him over Zeke. I'd take him over Devontae Adams. It's close with Tyreek. I don't like taking receivers early. I just don't see a path that I'm getting to him. Because I get work. All right, Ezekiel Elliott. I know Ezekiel Elliott's going to get tremendous workload.
Right.
His workload will be higher than Aaron Jones if he's healthy and everything goes the way it's supposed to. I think A.J. Dillon affects Aaron Jones more than people want to think he does. He's better than Jamal Williams, fact or fiction.
Oh, fact.
And they have draft capital invested in him. So you think they used a 2nd round pick on a running back to run him 6 times a game?
But they also just paid Aaron Jones to stay around.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
He can be very good from a real life point of view and not be worth a 1st round pick in fantasy football, which is where he's going. He can be 17 carries a game, 90 yards, 75 to 90 yards a game, never score touchdowns because I think A.J. Dillon is going to be an absolute touchdown vulture. He is going to be what LeGarrette Blount used to be.
Right.
And that's what scares me with Aaron Jones. I just don't see a path that I'm getting to him.
But do you know where Aaron Jones was last year?
Mm-hmm. I know exactly where he was.
Okay. I think he was the top 5 running back last year.
I'm not disputing that. You also had Zeke, who was a hot bag of zebra dicks. I mean, there were just a litany of other guys that underwhelmed last year. Christian McCaffrey was not a thing last year because he was hurt. Saquon Barclay wasn't a thing because he was hurt. Running back, the top 10 guys at running back is almost, if you play 16 games at a high level, you're going to be up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you look at those lists, look at how many backs in the top 15 you look at and go, ugh. James Robinson was 6.
Yes.
And I like James Robinson. Don't get me wrong. I'm taking one in the 4th or 5th round. I'm taking one at 9. Y'all pass.
Right.
Because I think they're very similar running backs, if I'm being really honest. There's a guy behind them that scares me a little bit, pushes them down to me, and I believe in the talent in James Robinson.
Okay. I'm going to give you one because I know he's not on your list, but Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's on my bust list this year. His offensive line is awful. We've already seen it. Other than he played 6 games last year. He got hurt, missed most of the season. I get it. He had one good game. One good game last year. The rest of the time, it was not good. In fantasy football, he averaged 8.5 points a game, other than that one 36-point game where he scored 3 touchdowns against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not buying Joe Mixon at all this year.
Well, here's my
question. He's going as RB12, and I think there's a good chance that he won't be in the top 12 at the end of the season.
I got him at 13. You tell me what running back going behind him you like better. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yes.
I think Gus Edwards is more of a thing than you do, but I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
I'm not taking Josh Jacobs ahead of Joe Mixon under any stretch.
I wouldn't take him ahead of him, but I'll wait.
That's not the question I asked.
I'll wait if I can.
I said you have to take you're on the clock and you must take one of these 2 players.
Okay.
You taking Joe Mixon or Josh Jacobs?
I'll take Joe Mixon.
Okay. He's not a bust.
Hold the gun to my head.
He's not a bust. I gave you 3 players right behind him. You said you would take him over 2 of the 3. You may not like him. I'm not saying that you would draft him. He's not going to be a bust.
Okay.
That's a discrepancy. I mean, be real honest with yourself. How many running backs do you think finish ahead of Joe Mixon, who, by the way, has no one challenging the workload? The backup running backs are Samaje Perine and Chris Evans, who I think had 27 carries at Michigan last year. I like the guy a lot. It's real early for me to think they would ever put him down in a passing situation in the NFL. Either one of them.
Yeah.
I could see a path that no running back plays a higher percentage of their team snaps than Joe Mixon.
How many times is he going to have to elude pressure in the backfield to be able to turn a game?
I don't dispute that.
I mean, that's the biggest qualm I have with him, and that's why I will not have him. And I would warn everybody else, stay away from him.
I'll have him. I'm getting him in the 3rd round, and I'm doing it with a big old smile on my face.
In the 3rd round? Now that's insane.
I've gotten him in the 3rd round multiple times.
Everybody has a value at some point, and in the 3rd round, I would absolutely be taking Joe Mixon. And that's the thing. I
saw the ADP on him, and he was at 20, and I went, nope, not in any league I'm in.
Yeah.
Because there's a slew of guys behind him. J.K. Dobbins going middle of the 2nd round. He's 6 spots behind him. That's the only one you said that you would take ahead of him?
The fantasy football calculator has him at the 1st pick of the 2nd round.
Yeah, he's at 20 right now, according to Fantasy Pros. So, I mean, Mixon is not back into the 2nd, beginning of the 3rd.
Wah, wah, wee, wah.
Wah, wah, wee, wah.
Early 2nd round? Fuck that. I'm out.
Well, behind him, it gets very Deandre Swift, David Montgomery, Chris Carson-y in a hurry, and I'm good. I want 2 running backs before I start dealing with that shit.
Right. All right, next bust on your list.
I'm sticking with running backs. I separated mine by positions. I don't know if you did that, but I did. David Montgomery. Can we stop with this for the love of Jesus? I thought this was going to be really easy. Apparently, it's not. He's going ahead of Miles Sanders, which to me is ignorantly dumb. Miles Sanders is 3 times the player he is. I love the raw talent. I don't love how this sets up. He had 4 good games against 3 of the worst defenses in the NFL, and one of them he played twice. And people are just losing their shit. Like, did you forget who he was? Did he all of a sudden become a different person? He's still the same guy.
Yep.
He's still a 6th-round running back that's just going to get a lot of tote. And I got news for you. Khalil Herbert is going to vulture into that workload, I promise you. And that's with me giving absolutely no credence to Damian Williams whatsoever. If you think Damian Williams is a thing, you're going to have 3 backs doing it. I'm good. I'm good. And Justin Fields is some of the running game is going to fall on him. Because I firmly believe he's the starting quarterback there in week 1. I'm Seacrest out on David Montgomery.
Current ADP on Fantasy Football Calculator, 3rd round, 3rd pick.
Nope.
Chris Carson, DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders. Those are the next 4.
And who are the receivers behind him?
Oh, the receivers. That's a fun little game. You got Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, Allen Robinson, Julio Jones, Robert Woods. That takes you all the way into the top of the 4th round. Yep.
It's a less forceful, but yeah. I'm struggling to find a way that I don't go tight end, running back in drafts. And that takes me out of David Montgomery. I'd take Chris Carson, who's somebody that I don't buy in the least.
No, definitely not. He is also on my gross list. Not my bust list, but my gross list. Although bust fills that category as well. All right, I'll let you go ahead and crucify me for this one. It's Najee Harris. I don't buy the line. I get he's going to get a whole lot of tote. And what Mike Tomlin loves to do is just run the wheels off of his rookies. He's done it with every rookie he's ever had. I just don't see taking him at the 7th pick in the 1st round.
7th pick in the 1st round? Where the fuck are you seeing that?
I have seen people take him that high in drafts.
16 right now. He's not even RB7. He's running back 11. And I have never seen not one draft where any guy I'm about to say goes before him, or goes after him, excuse me. Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Zeke, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey. I have yet to see him go in front of any one of them.
I have.
I haven't. Then you draft with dumb shits because there's absolutely no fucking excuse to take any of those guys.
No.
To take Najee Harris ahead of him, and I love Najee Harris.
That's kind of my point.
Where he's fallen in, for me, one of my favorite roster builds I've done so far. I got Kelsey at 10, came back in the 2nd round at, what would that be? Let's say I went 13, 14, 15, and took Najee Harris. And wound up with Joe Mixon actually in the 3rd round. And I walked away from that like, here we go.
Right. He's going to get a lot of workload, I know, but I'm still not convinced on that offensive line. And the quarterback of the team's not convinced either. Ben Roethlisberger did an interview yesterday where he was saying one of the most important things for offensive line is cohesion. We lost 4 starters last year. There is no cohesion on this team. They're going to have to pick it up quick, was his direct quote. And hopefully they can, but
I have no doubt that they will. Mike Tomlin does not seem overly worried about it. I'm good.
Najee Harris at RB10 to me is a little too high.
I'm fine. I got him at 11, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with that. I walk away fat and sassy with Najee Harris and Joe Mixon as my 1 and 2.
Okay. You got a couple more running backs?
I have 2 that are abundantly obvious if you've ever watched this show. DeAndre Swift.
Yes.
Stop. Just stop it with DeAndre Swift. Now, he's a guy I've seen go. His ADP, what he's currently at, is 30. That seems to have regressed back to where it should be. I don't so much mind him there. The problem is that I see him go in front of Josh Jacobs a lot. And that makes no sense to me.
Nope.
Jamal Williams is going to get run in that offense, whether you like it or not. And here's the other problem. They're going to be behind all the time. They can't beat anybody, and they don't want to. And be really honest with yourself. They see DeAndre Swift as a part of this piece of this puzzle when they're good. Do you think they're going to run him in the ground when they're bad? No.
He is very involved in the passing game, though.
I don't disagree with that.
And I think that will get more as he goes on. This is one of the things that he starred at Georgia. And last year, 57 targets, 47 catches, 80% catch percentage, 2 touchdowns. He did have that one big drop on the touchdown at the end of the game against, was it Arizona?
I believe
or
so.
somebody. I think it was Arizona, where he just dropped one in the end zone, second game of his career. But he's a guy that they can trust in the pass game. They can do that with Jamal Williams, too. So that might eat into some of his targets, but I would see him pretty much in the same spot.
Yeah, so he's just one I'm not ever getting to. I'll take Josh Jacobs. I'll take Miles Sanders.
100%.
There are a slew of guys that I will take there. Another one I've got, and I'll almost bet you can call out the name I'm getting ready to say. This is somebody that every time he comes off the board, I go, what in the fuck do you see in him?
It's not coming to me.
He has a fish on his helmet.
Oh, Myles Gaskin.
How many 100-yard games does Myles Gaskin have in his life?
1. 2. None?
Are you going to definitively give a guess, or are you just going to keep saying numbers until I nod or shake my head?
1.
None. Never. Not nary a time. Not once. Not ever. Not ever, ever. What in the fuck is it that people are seeing in him?
He's
He's
the
going
only
in
one.
the 4th round.
That's what they feel like. He's the only one. They've got to have somebody run the ball. So I might as well I'm getting an RB1 in the 4th round.
Well, here's a fun story that I've yet to hear anybody say about Myles Gaskin. Going into week 7, the 5 weeks previous to that, he had 22, 10, 16, 18 carries. Then went on IR and did a little 2-week stint on the COVID-19 list. Do you know how many carries he had combined in the 3 games that he played outside of that?
27.
42.
Okay.
He had 42 carries in 3 games. I don't know what you're seeing in him. I can't for the life of me figure it out. I'll just give you a list of guys behind him that play running back that I would rather have. Travis Etienne, who I'm down on. Javonte Williams, Mike Davis by a lot. Raheem Mostert, Melvin Gordon, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, Damian Harris by a lot. Darrell Henderson by a lot.
I disagree on Leonard Fournette.
You're wrong.
Keep going.
You're wrong. He's in a timeshare. Who's more talented? Straight up, who's more
it's Leonard
talented?
Fournette.
There you go. Because your argument is going to be workload.
Yeah.
If this is split 40-40-20, I won't be shocked. Between Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, and Jared Dokes. Wouldn't shock me in the damn least.
Okay.
Hell, I like David Johnson better than him, and it's not all that close. I didn't say you wouldn't vomit in your mouth.
Yep.
I'm just saying I can get 40 picks later.
Right.
And especially, if you told me at 48 I had to take Myles Gaskin or David Johnson, I'd take David Johnson. When I realized that, I could get him at 90 as opposed to Myles Gaskin at 48, then it's not even close.
Myles Gaskin going in the 4th round.
Which is stupid.
Damian Harris is going in the 6th.
Which is also stupid.
But take advantage of that.
Bingo.
Absolutely take advantage of
We
that.
can only say Damian Harris's name on the show so many times before it just loses all meaning, and we're almost there.
He's going to be the guy in New England. I don't give a shit about James White anymore. I don't care about Ramondre Stevenson. Would you like to know the last time a running back had more than 90 touches, a rookie running back for the New England Patriots?
Oh, God.
It's a long.
Hold on, don't tell me.
It's a long time ago.
Lawrence Maroney.
Lawrence Maroney. I don't. That window closed. I don't remember who it was. The only one that has gone over 90.
He asked me a question and then didn't remember the fucking answer.
I didn't remember the answer. Because I do remember the only guy who's been above that, and it was Sony Michel when he got 200 carries. It's the only one under Bill Belichick.
I went back way too far.
Yeah. It's the only one under Bill Belichick that has had more than 90 carries in their rookie year. Ramondre Stevenson is not an answer here.
No.
And he's not really a threat.
He's fullback.
I think in the goal line, he might be a threat to Damian Harris.
And I think Mac Jones is going to be the starter, so I don't have to deal with Cam Newton.
Right.
I'm all the way in on Damian Harris. I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite roster builds, Kelsey in the first, the Mixon Jacobs or Mixon, who's the one I'm forgetting? We're just talking about him. It'll come to me eventually. Najee Harris. Najee Harris, Mixon. Then I go 2 receivers. A lot of times I'm getting something of the level of Terry McLaurin and CeeDee Lamb, and then go Mike Davis, Damian Harris.
Okay.
That's 7 dudes that I'm sitting there just looking at everybody else going, I am going to drop my wiener on you like a old lady dipping tea bags in her teacup. Just doop, doop, doop.
I had considered Melvin Gordon for my bust list, but because he's in a timeshare now with Javonte Williams, and
but you got to look at where
drafting him. Right, exactly. He's going in the 7th round. I'm completely fine with that.
He's one of my favorites. That's another guy. If I were to miss out on Mike Davis, I'll take Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams in back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, that could be huge for you.
Because they'll run Melvin Gordon into the ground.
The only other one I want to mention is Chase Edmonds. And you know why? Because I believe in him. And when I believe in somebody, it is the kiss of death.
No,
I don't mind Chase Edmonds. I just have to get a real good value on him. And I don't seem to be getting that anymore. So I'm out.
No, you're not. Final running backs?
That's pretty much, that's all the ones that I had listed. Let me see if there's one that see if there's anybody that I'm missing just off the top of my head. People are taking Michael Carter too high. As a Jets fan, by the end of the year, it might work out for you. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it's going to be in the beginning. I think that's going to be the definition of a time split between him, Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman, and maybe even LaMichael Pirine. There's going to be a lot of running backs there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Trey Sermon. Stop taking Trey Sermon.
Just period?
Just period.
He doesn't have a role?
Just stop it. Somebody will take him too high because he's the guy that everybody, seemingly in drafts, every team, there's always a team that panics and goes, oh shit, I only have one running back. And in the 6th takes Trey Sermon. And my mouth opens and I just stare at them like, wait.
It's because Raheem Mostert's always hurt.
I don't care. Because you know what that will be?
And if Mostert,
a timeshare.
And if Mostert's hurt, Trey Sermon becomes the feature back, right?
60-40 split with who the hell ever else they can get.
Elijah Mitchell or
Jeff Wilson or whoever else is clinically alive on that team. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
The only San Francisco running back that I want is Raheem Mostert. And I don't really want him where he's going. If he falls, I'm good.
Okay, let's talk about wide receivers. Wide receiver busts for 2021. Who's at the top of your list?
You're not going to like this.
I'm probably not, because I'll be honest with you, when I was trying to think of who do I think is a bust right now in the wide receiver room, I could only come up with a couple of names. Because I think everybody's kind of right on par with their ADP where I think they finish.
It just depends on how the drafts go. My first one is Stephon Diggs. Because he's going too damn high.
3rd wide receiver off the board's too much?
It's 2. I'm seeing him at 2.
Oh, okay.
In places, because I've seen him go ahead of Tyreek Hill. And that's just insane to me. I'm fine with him in the beginning of the 3rd. I'll be honest with you, I don't like any running back in the first 2 rounds. I will have Tyreek Hill 0 places. I will have Devontae Adams 0 places. I will have Stephon Diggs 0 places.
0 wide receiver first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't care. Solely because it all goes into the draft strategy. In the 3rd round, I can have Terry McLaurin at wide receiver, or I can have Kareem Hunt at running back. One of those things sounds not bad, and one of those made me want to puke in my shoes.
Yes.
I don't dislike Kareem Hunt. I don't like him as my 1. And I don't want to go into a season with David Montgomery as my number 1 running back. I'm just waiting on receiver. I will hoard running backs, and then I will stack up the Elijah Moore, Robbie Anderson, Laviska Shenault, Michael Pittman. I did a draft the other day where in the 9th round I had taken 1 receiver. And I'll be honest with you, when I was done with it, it's one of my favorite rosters I've seen me have so far.
Yeah.
Because my receivers were like, I had one high end. I think it's Justin Jefferson fell to me in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took Elijah Moore was my 3. Robbie Anderson was my 2. And then I had just a series of high upside flyers. Like I got Devontae Parker in like the 15th round or some shit. Yeah. And I'm just looking at my roster and going, man, I like this way better.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I just like it way better. There's so many receivers.
There's only one wide receiver that I will consider taking in the first, like in the top half of the 3rd round. From the first pick to the top half of the 3rd round.
3rd round, I'm good. It's just none of the guys I just said are there.
Right. But to me, it's Justin Jefferson. That's the only one that I will target in that area.
Yeah, I was wrong on him.
Yeah, you were wrong. You were very wrong on him. It's not that I don't like the other guys. It's just the value. To me, I've been in too many drafts already where I am the last guy taking a wide receiver. And I'm completely fine with it because, as you said, there's a lot of value. The wide receiver is so deep. Running back, not so much. And the differences between the top running backs and the middle of the road running backs is vast. It's about a 30-point difference from running back 1 to running back 14. And you look at the wide receivers and the difference is like 20 points. And 1 to 30. So I'm all in with you on that. Stephon Diggs, though, to me, I mean, he had a hell of a year last year, but do you expect anybody else to take the load in Buffalo? You believe that much in Gabriel Davis?
It's not that. It's not. And I shouldn't have said that way. Stephon Diggs is probably going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I don't really care because I just don't think he's going to be that much different than somebody like A.J. Brown that I can get around later.
Gotcha.
They probably don't qualify as busts. I'm just not going to take them where they're going. Mm-hmm. My first real bust is Julio Jones.
Okay.
I am Seacrest out on this shit aggressively. Let me ask you a question, and I want to see how close you get on this.
Okay.
Corey Davis was reasonably good last year, right?
Yeah.
Where did he finish in terms of wide receivers in fantasy football scoring?
22.
29?
Okay.
How much better is Julio Jones actually than Corey Davis right now?
Not a whole lot.
His ceiling's much higher. Mm-hmm. His floor is he plays 6 games. Mm-hmm. And this is a low-volume passing offense. I just don't buy it. And you're having to take him. I mean, hell, I've seen Julio go in the 4th round. Stop that. Stop that.
No, thank you.
Guys going behind him that I like. I mean, he's going ahead of Chris Godwin.
Which is dumb.
Which is insane to me. He's going ahead of Amari Cooper. And I thought I was the most down on Amari Cooper. That's insane to me. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you, I like DJ Moore better than him.
I do too. I would agree with you on all of that. I will wait on wide receivers, and I'm definitely not taking a 31-year-old wide receiver as one of, well, at this point, he'd have to be your 2. He'd have to be either your 1 or your 2 when you come around in the draft order. Mm-hmm. If you've gone, Travis Kelce and 2 running backs, again, not happening for me. Amari Cooper is on my list. I just don't like where he's going right now, and I feel like he takes the back seat. Where do I have him going? The ADP here says he is 16. He's wide receiver 16.
I got him at 17.
Yeah, wide receiver 16 in the 4th round.
I'm fine with that.
But would you? Okay, we'll play the game of guys going around him. Just after him, Cooper Kupp. You'd rather have Amari?
Ring the bell. I'd rather have Amari Cooper.
Chris Godwin, Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, DJ Moore. See?
Damn it, that's close.
Wait around. That's a full round.
Damn it, that's close.
I'm out.
Here's the thing. I have said on this show, if Dak Prescott plays 17 games, he will easily throw for over 5,000 yards.
Yes.
You know what that means he's going to have? 3,000-yard receivers. Amari Cooper will be one of them. I disagree with you on bust for that. Would I like him better at the beginning of the fifth than middle to back end of the fourth? Yeah. Am I jumping up and down to go get him? No.
Do you think he's better this year than he was last year?
Yeah, because he had Andy
Dak
Dalton
Prescott?
throwing to him.
Okay.
He went from one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL to one of the best. Well, I'm talking about from last year to this year.
Oh, okay.
He's going from Andy Dalton, who was below average, to Dak Prescott, who's not only high volume, but very talented.
Yeah, I don't know. I see CeeDee Lamb coming on strong. He's going to take away some workload from him. Michael Gallup's still going to get his. I'm not saying Amari Cooper's going to be shit, but I'm not taking him as a top 16 wide receiver, especially when some of those guys are still available that I just mentioned. Because just about every one of those that I said, I would rather take them than Amari Cooper.
Yeah, that's good.
Because he's too boomer busty.
Is it the second wide receiver? I'm fine with it. My first one's Jamar Chase.
Okay.
The love on him's gotten dumb. Same game you played. Here are the 5 receivers going right behind him.
Okay.
Kenny Galladay, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Chase Claypool, T. Higgins, Odell Beckham Jr. I'd rather have them all.
Yep.
Not one in that pool that I would rather have Jamar Chase than. It's already come out that he's not separating well, and Joe Burrow's running for his fucking life. T. Higgins has been the best player on the field in every interaction I've had with anybody for the Bengals. Been the best receiver on the field. I know he's a rookie. I know he's new. I know he was teammates with Joe Burrow and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. He hasn't played competitive football in almost 2 years. It's not going to start quick. This team's not going to be good. And I'll be honest with you, I like T. Higgins better. For this year. Career outlook, yeah, it's probably Jamar Chase. I think he will disappoint going 5. But not a guy that I will have any damn where.
Okay. Has the love on Deontay Johnson gotten too stupid?
No. The problem is that there's another receiver on the team that I could debatably say that I like better. I would rather be the last one to take a Steelers wide receiver than the first one. I would rather get Juju Smith-Schuster 2 rounds after Deontay Johnson than be the guy that takes Deontay Johnson. Because I think they're all going to be very similar.
Deontay Johnson is on my bust list. He's going as wide receiver 20 right now, and Chase Claypool's wide receiver 26. You can wait almost an entire round to get Chase Claypool, and I'm completely happy with that.
As am I.
I like Deontay Johnson, don't get me wrong, but again, the secret's out. He's no longer a secret weapon. He's now being drafted as the guy to have out of that Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and I'm not sure that's true.
Here's another thing that I think people are undervaluing. When Pittsburgh plays against man teams, who do you defend first?
That's a good question.
Who gets your 1?
Would it be Deontay?
Would be for me. Who gets your 2?
Juju.
Chase Claypool.
Oh, okay.
Juju gets my 3. I think this could, and this has been probably last year. As long as he's there, I think we're going to do this every year. Because it's going to be who's in a matchup dependent and things like that. I think now Deontay Johnson's the one. If I had to schematically defend this team, I would throw my best player at Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
And Chase Claypool scares me so much deep that I don't think I could prioritize Juju over him. I think Juju's the forgotten guy. Wouldn't shock me if he was the highest scoring Steeler this year. Not saying I think it's going to happen, just saying it wouldn't shock me.
Okay. Other busts at the wide receiver position for you?
DJ Chark. DJ Chark.
Okay.
When the coach basically comes out and calls you a lazy piece of shit, you should probably listen to them. You should probably listen to what they're saying. I disagree with it, and I think Urban Meyer's a fucking buffoon.
I was going to say, I think we need to consider the source on this.
100%. Who's the one calling plays?
Yeah.
Who's the guy? I don't give a fuck what you think of him. I care what Urban Meyer thinks of him, because that's the one that's game planning the script for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He basically came out and said, nah, not my kind of player. Okay. Take it your word. Everybody and their brother's talking about Laviska Shenault. Nobody's talking about DJ Chark. And he's already hurt. Mm-hmm. I'm good. I don't see a path I have DJ Chark anywhere. Just sad because I really like the kid.
Yeah. It's hard for me to put the bust label on a guy that you're getting in the 8th round, though.
Oh, 100% you can, because look at the guys you're getting. Look at the guys that are going after him. I'd rather have Robbie Anderson, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy. Hell, I'd rather have Brandon Cooks, if I was being really honest.
I'll agree with that.
Those guys are going 2 full rounds behind DJ Chark.
I was in a message board last night, and somebody asked the question of, do I trade Melvin Gordon for Brandon Cooks? What was your answer to that, B?
No.
No? You wouldn't do that? I would.
In a redraft or a dynasty?
In a dynasty.
That makes it closer. I'm still gonna say no.
Really? I would. And my whole reasoning behind that was one of them's in a timeshare and the other one's not.
Yeah, one of them's a running back, one of them's not.
No, I understand. But if you need a wide receiver and you're giving up a running back, which is the situation that this guy was in, he's already loaded at running back.
If you need a receiver, you are doing things that make my head hurt, because there's probably 40 of them I like. There's almost no way you should be, with the way the NFL is right now, you should never say, man, I could really use a receiver. Like, how the fuck does that, who are you starting that you're going, you start 2 receivers. You almost always play a running back in the flex, at least I do. So you start 2 of them. Who the hell is your second receiver that you're going, man, it'd really be good. I can trade one of these running backs for a receiver. Who the fuck are you starting?
All right.
My God, there's 60 startable receivers in the league. Mm-hmm. You need 2. 3 to feel good about yourself. Shit. People ask me that question. Like, I need a receiver. How? Fuck, go get one. Shit, there's probably one on the waiver wire. Just go pick up.
Right.
I don't prioritize wide receivers very much, in case you can't tell.
Yeah. More busts?
Wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
A couple guys that I just want to mention, and I'm not necessarily going to say I think these are busts. I'm getting very leery of where they're being drafted. Keenan Allen's the first one.
Okay.
I'm getting terrified of where Keenan Allen's is being drafted because of who's calling the plays there now. It's Joe Lombardi. Mm-hmm. You remember all those years in New Orleans? Mm-hmm. You just never quite knew who the receiver was going to be. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, man, he's going to play the Michael Thomas role." Is he though? Is he though? Because I'm not so convinced of that.
No, I heard the other day it was going to be Josh Palmer playing that role.
And that's why Josh Palmer was on the love list.
Right.
That's why we're sending Valentines to each other and we're in each other's fave 5 on T-Mobile.
Keenan Allen gets the Traquan Smith role.
Adam Thielen's another one that I don't know what to do with.
Why?
Guys, the way they use him is infuriating. Move him back to the damn slot. God,
I don't think anything they did with him last year was wrong. And I mean, hell, he was a top 10 wide receiver last year. He and Justin Jefferson. Jefferson was 6. Thielen was 7.
All touchdown dependent. He had 14 touchdowns. He didn't break 1,000 yards last year.
Okay.
Now, there were a lot of things that went wrong with Adam Thielen. He had a lot of games where he was non-fucking-existent. Now, granted, he was also hurt. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I don't like him playing on the outside at all. Phew, God, he had some bad games last year. Sure.
So you think there's bust potential there for him?
I do. There were too many games last year where he was non-playable. Mm-hmm. Too many 3 for 39 games. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown 3 times. And 8 of his 14 touchdowns came in 4 games. Mm-hmm. A lot of just 3 for 31, 3 for 27, 2 for 38. Oh, I hate it. It just depends on where you get him, and he seems to be rising for some reason.
Okay, so you're putting the warning label on Adam Thielen, not necessarily saying he's a bust.
Not saying he's a bust, just saying it's getting to a point where I'm like, okay, calm your tits.
Got that little caution tape around him.
Calm your tits.
Anybody else?
Tyler Lockett. I just don't ever find a way to draft him because he's so damn bootsy from week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, I had 11 catches to 147 yards. Oh, look, I forgot which direction to run. That's 2 consecutive weeks for Tyler Lockett.
Nice. But you get Tyler Lockett and Adam Thielen together, then maybe they'll balance each other out. You get Amari Cooper in there, you might actually have a solid option all year long.
You make my head hurt sometimes.
Why?
I'm going to keep asking this stat. How many times have you beaten me in a league that was not NFL.com? If those are my top 3 options at wide receiver, I quit. I don't want to play anymore. I'm going to go do something I'm better at, like
right,
putting on my seatbelt or something.
It's kind of the reason I said that, was that all of those guys are so boom or bust.
I know why you said it.
Okay, thank you. All right.
I've also seen you have rosters that looked exactly like that.
Sort of.
Your rosters always hurt my head. Like, I just look at them and go, there's so many decisions, and you're never going to pick right.
Tight ends.
None of the top 4 scare me. So you're not going to get many tight end busts from me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you are the tight end whisperer. So
I'm fine with Kyle Pitts. I'm fine with Waller, Kittle, and Kelsey, all where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
It's every other one other than them. Okay. I don't like where any of them are going. Mark Andrews, the back end of the 5th. Nope. Hawkins in the beginning of the 6th. Nope. I'll wait on Robert Tonyan in the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Bobby philosophy at tight end. Either be first or last. I don't have much on tight end. I don't know if you do or not.
I don't. I mean, Mark Andrews, I like him this year. I think he's going to be fine. I get that there's other receivers there, but I mean,
ask yourself this question when you go to draft tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Is their name Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, or Kyle Pitts? The answer to that is no. Ask yourself the second question. What round is this?
Yeah.
If it's a single-digit number, take your finger, stick it out, and point it at your own face and go, no, no. And just keep doing that until one of those answers changes to yes.
Okay.
No.
Robert Tonyan, I think he is one of the guys that I have seen him go in the 7th round, 6th round.
I've got him in the hundreds
because people are just trying to go, oh God, I don't have a tight end, and they're panicking, and they're looking at Robert Tonyan and going, 11 touchdowns last year. Okay.
Touchdowns are cyclical, first of all.
It's going to regress.
If you told me I waited till the last, I didn't have a tight end until the last pick of the draft, and I got Irv Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Wah.
Take the gamble.
I'm officially to the point of I don't care what Mike Zimmer says. Okay. Fuck him and his windblown face. I don't believe you.
His windblown face.
Yeah, I don't believe your chapped face or your moving mouth that Irv Smith's not going to somehow get more targets in this offense.
All right, bust quarterbacks.
I cannot believe I'm getting ready to say this out loud. I can't wrap my head around why people are taking Pat Mahomes in the 2nd round. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's going a full round behind him. Dak Prescott's going 2 full rounds behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Lamar Jackson. I'm of the belief now I don't care who my quarterback is. Unless it's Superflex, I do not care.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Mahomes is not going to be good. He will be. He'll probably be the number 1 or number 2 scoring quarterback in fantasy football. And that will put him a solid 2 points a game ahead of the guy I got in the 10th round. Or Russell Wilson, who I'm somehow getting in the 7th and 8th round of drafts.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh a lot.
ADP on Aaron Rodgers is in the 6th, 6'4", 6'10" for Russell Wilson.
And say I'd rather go Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. But still, to me, the gap between all of those guys is not markedly different.
I'll be honest with you. At quarterback, I'm not averse to going Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr and Trey Lance. I'm not averse to it. And I'm still getting Deshaun Watson way the hell down there. He's going to play for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Might be in the CFL. Maybe we'll find a way that their points will carry over. But I'm good.
Right. I mean, you can wait until the later rounds and get a guy that's going to be, I'm not going to say just as good, but it ain't going to be that far off.
It won't be that far off to me. This is a wait and see
Patrick
year.
Mahomes going in the second round. Tom Brady's going in the 7th round.
Yeah, and I'm good on Brady.
But do you know the difference between the two of them last year?
Wouldn't have been much.
No, it was 20 points.
Yeah, it's a point a game.
Yeah.
You took one guy in the second round.
Excuse me, 30 points. That was the difference.
So 2 points a game.
Yeah.
Which is what I said originally. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fine for me. I like these running guys. I'm out on Jalen Hurts because I don't know what that's going to look like. But now his ADP has fluctuated so much that, I mean, somebody in your league might do it, but I'm not overly worried about it.
Right.
I'm going to. Trevor Lawrence is another one that I'm getting really nervous about. I'm seeing too many people that are winding up with Trevor Lawrence as their starter, and I'm like, ooh,
don't do that.
Don't do that. That's aggressive. I like aggressive. That's too aggressive.
Is he your best rookie running back or rookie quarterback?
Justin Fields.
It's same for me.
That's Justin Fields. Everything I hear come out of Urban Meyer's mouth makes me nervous about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Every word he says makes me nervous.
Just yesterday, he said it again. There is an open quarterback competition in Jacksonville. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking, because the one thing that sends the message to everybody else is we didn't take the right guy. You're going to take a guy at 1-1, and then 3 weeks into the season, you're like, nah, I don't know if we're going to play him or not.
Yeah,
While every other team is talking about we're gonna bench our starter for this guy, Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. I get it, Andrew Dalton's a little bit different, but Justin Fields going to start. Mac Jones probably going to start for the New England Patriots. Stop putting out there that there's a quarterback competition, because we all know you're lying. Either that or you're just an idiot.
Yeah, Urban, you don't deserve Trevor Lawrence, and as a Jets fan, I'm about to repossess him from you.
Right.
You didn't deserve that, and you're doing it wrong, and it's really starting to piss me off.
All right, that's the fantasy bust for 2021 on these 30 days of Draftmas. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Thanks for tuning in to the program. Don't forget, we are always here in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Hit that like, share, and follow button on all of the social medias. Hit the subscribe button as well and share it out with all of your friends so they can join us here in the Sportsocracy community. Enjoy the rest of the preseason games that are coming up tonight, also throughout the weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you right back here on Monday morning.